Star Trek 57, M23, take 2.
It's the It's Got Star Trek podcast.
Captain's log, stardate 48579.4. The crew has been scanning constantly for anomalies that might help us shorten our journey home. Ensign Kim has reported an exciting discovery, a subspace disturbance which may be a wormhole. Let's see what you have, Mr. Kim.
There. It's registering only on subspace bands. We don't even have it on long-range sensors yet.
Verteron emanations, tunneling secondary particles. It certainly looks like a wormhole.
But is it stable enough for us to enter? And if it is, where does it lead?
There is, of course, a 75% chance a wormhole will not lead to the Alpha Quadrant.
Very true. But you can also say there's a 1 in 4 chance it will. Those aren't bad odds. Any analysis yet, Ensign?
Too far away. We'd have to be within 1,000 kilometers to get a detailed analysis. That would mean a significant course change.
Well, Mr. Kim, if there's even the possibility of finding a wormhole, I think we can afford a detour.
Hello, and welcome to... Hello.
Yeah?
Okay.
To what? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Hello.
Because I don't know what we're doing.
Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the It's Got Star Trek podcast.
I enjoyed studying anatomy.
Well done, Dan.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
Did you like how
Anatomy.
she's... Isn't that she has this really like dark, determined look on her face when she's talking about anatomy? You can't tell if it's for like violent reasons or perverted reasons
Those are the two options.
for why she likes anatomy.
Honestly, I
Why
didn't.
wouldn't there be another reason?
Those are the
be a
only
different
because
reason.
if you look at go watch it again and look at
you
her
watch
face.
it again.
Look at her. I already watched it. And I've already noted the look on her face. You do the same and get back to me and tell me she's not thinking about either A, violence, or B, perversion.
You're missing it. Everybody's missing out on Dan like wagging his fingers.
wagging multiple fingers around, and people don't even know what episode we're talking about, unless, of course, they looked at the.
Of course. And quite expertly, too. And quite expertly, too. And quite expertly, too.
You keep referencing
And quite expertly, too.
she or her, and
And quite expertly, too.
people might not know what that's about. So
Quite expertly, too. Quite expertly, too.
Them.
Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too.
Isn't that funny how he says that word? Listen
yeah.
how he says this.
Of course. And quite expertly, too.
He doesn't say, he says quite expertly.
Expertly.
I just want to note, Dan, that I'm formally acknowledging that you've played that clip.
Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too.
Another thing I didn't catch while watching the episode, it is an interesting, strange thing, a strange way he's pronounced that. I
And
agree.
quite expertly, too.
Good.
But it's just one of those things when you play it back to back, it sounds cool.
He's an
Expertly, too.
operator.
Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too.
I can't deny that.
It sounds like he's saying sparkly poo, right?
Yeah.
Expertly, too. Expertly, too. Expertly, too.
Sounds like he's saying sparkly
Or
sparkly poo.
Sparkly too.
I mean, you
Sparkly poo.
you can keep saying that. It doesn't sound like that to me. It just sounds like he's saying
Like what a unicorn poops.
and expertly too,
And quite expertly, too.
quite expertly. Too. Right.
Of course. And quite expertly, too.
Well, we're doing a good job of having a nice, calm beginning to this episode. It's a calm.
There's no need to get right into it.
It's
We
a
can-
relaxed.
We can fool around a bit.
It's a relaxed
I mean,
episode.
is there really much to talk about in this episode?
It's one of those.
It's one of the-
old-fashioned, really relaxing
It's
Star
one-
Trek episodes.
It's one of those things where nothing really happens till the last 12 minutes. Basically,
It's got Tom Virtue in it.
Tom Virtue,
who
yeah.
plays Baxter?
He plays all sorts of roles.
He's Baxter now. Don't we find out that Baxter is part of the secret the Section 31 or whatever?
I don't remember.
Isn't there something with Baxter? Isn't there some deal with Baxter?
I remember he was being obnoxious in some other episode.
Yeah, he's
some other-
usually kind of a.
And he kept talking about the gym in this episode. Wasn't there another? Was it him that was also in another episode talking about the gym?
Maybe that's his deal.
I think he's in a few episodes of Voyager. Yeah.
I swear there
was talking about working out his guns.
I mean, I seem to remember, and I couldn't. Maybe this isn't Baxter. Maybe this is a different character altogether. But I seem to have conflated Baxter then with this other character that was part of Section 31, who also talked about. I could be conflating three characters. Baxter with someone who was in Section 31 with someone else who was always talking about being in the gym. Because he was talking about being in the gym this episode. And I swear there was another time some other character, when we noted it, we covered the episode and we all noted it in the episode. They're like, whoa, this guy keeps talking about working out this episode. But it wasn't this one we just did now.
It was not this episode.
It was another one.
He was in The Fresh Prince.
That we haven't even discussed. We haven't even mentioned.
Oh.
As I said before.
2 different episodes.
That we haven't mentioned
kidding.
the title of the episode
Different
yet.
characters.
And we were so far
was
gone
also
from
in
the
the-
title.
he was
I remember the title now. I didn't remember
He
it.
was
I
in
saw
an-
it in my notes.
He was in an episode of Enterprise.
The actor. What's his name? Vince Peroni. Vince Peroni.
He was in 21 Jump Street.
What's his name? What's the actor's name?
Tom Virtue.
Tom Virtue. I was close.
Tom Virtue.
So
No, Vin, you're thinking of.
I'm not. Vaughn Armstrong.
Vaughn Armstrong, right?
Who is as prolific, certainly nearly as prolific.
As Tom Virtue. He played
He was in Malcolm.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Tom Virtue wasn't in. Vaughn Armstrong was the one in Enterprise. Sorry, that's what I meant. To say.
What I was trying to say is that
Admiral Forrest.
people often talk
He was in
about
Seinfeld.
how many characters Jeffrey Combs has played across Star Trek, and that is true. He has played many characters, but Vaughn Armstrong's right up there with him, playing all sorts of aliens, but of course, probably most familiar to folks who've watched Enterprise because he was good old Admiral Vaughn, right? Isn't that the joke? His name is Vaughn Armstrong, and wasn't he like Admiral?
No,
Vaughn?
he was Telek.
Admiral Forrest, not Admiral Vaughn.
He's Telek.
No, in this episode he's Telek, but on Enterprise he's Admiral Forrest, right?
So there is no joke.
There is no joke.
That's the joke, right? Nope. There's no joke.
I
Wait, we don't know what we're talking about yet, do we?
I mean, we kind of do. So,
We kind of
it's got Star Trek podcast. This is episode number 335. If I've got
335.
I've got my counting correct. 335 is alive.
This is 335.
This is a surprise.
This is 335.
There you go.
Good reference, Jesse. And in episode 335
Mon.
of the It's Got Star Trek
Jesse's
podcast.
doing it.
I'm sorry. That
this
was
is
a
He said
callback.
Mon.
Yeah, I was
that
just
was
going
from last
to see if you
week.
were paying attention.
Yeah, I know.
And I will stop now.
This is one of those little podcast continuity things.
Continuity.
If I say continuity, Dan gets mad. So
I don't get mad. I just correct you.
Okay, fair.
Wait.
You should be getting mad at
How
yourself.
do you say it? Any correction?
I say it both ways. I say it continuity, and sometimes I say continuity.
He says.
Continuity.
He
I
says.
think continuity is a perfectly cromulent way to pronounce it.
He says continuity more than he says continuity. He only says
Perhaps.
continuity when he's correcting himself from saying continuity.
Sometimes I say.
I think you can go both ways.
Sometimes I say Penelope instead of Penelope.
Sometimes.
To what end?
Which is,
Penelope.
sometimes is meant to be funny, and sometimes is because I'm stupid. And I forget.
Sometimes my brain hurts.
I forget that Penelope is spelled Penelope. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, if you just read it.
Yeah, this week we are discussing the Star Trek Voyager episode Eye of the Needle.
It would be interesting to see an autopsy sometime.
Okay.
Yeah, that
so
was
Dan,
weird.
you are strengthening your argument. It's not that I disagreed with your earlier observation. Can you play her saying what was the anatomy business? Play that again.
I enjoyed studying anatomy.
All right. So
It would be interesting to see an autopsy sometime.
Like she studied it and that's it? Like that she learned everything she could
She was
learn?
looking at wieners,
Well, yeah. I'm sure.
and she was thinking about perverted and violent things to do to them.
well, I mean, you keep saying perverted.
And
That's a sort of
vaginas, and
perverted-
vaginas.
I'm uncomfortable with the, and I'm sure you don't intend it this way, although correct me if I'm wrong, because perversion suggests something wrong, distasteful action. When
Using it for
learning
something
about anatomy is for
wants-
sexual
she wants-
purposes is nothing. That's not perverted. It's,
No, I'm not
It's
learning about
nice.
anatomy. No,
you gotta use anatomy.
no, I never said learning about anatomy is perverted. I'm saying that the way she said it, like, denotes perversion.
It was suggestive.
But do you mean perversion as in something that you perceive to be a distasteful act, or are you just talking about generally sensual?
Did you see the look in her eyes?
I
when she
do.
said that?
I admit I did not. I did not catch this watching.
She said, she goes, I enjoyed studying anatomy in this way that was like,
I didn't
whoa.
really pick up
You
on
gotta,
that.
you gotta read between the lines, guys.
Well,
Come on.
I mean,
All right.
isn't she like 2 years old or something?
Yeah, damn.
Well, she's learning.
Well, yeah, okay.
Which in any other context would sound horrible. But that's how they work.
You got to pass on this one.
Yeah.
I don't want to go down this road anymore.
Yeah, we're done. We're done on this road.
Yeah.
All right.
But I decided to go a different direction with my opening sound bits today. I was gonna play something else, but then I was like, why don't I just play these sounds instead?
Okay.
Because they have absolutely nothing. This isn't the theme of the episode. There's nothing thematic about those. Usually the sounds I pick at the beginning are thematic to the episode. This has nothing to do with that.
Did you catch when Balana was like, "I'm on it"? Did you
Balana's on it.
Yeah, but she was like, "I'm
that was
on
from
it."
a different episode.
She's like, she starts working on something. She's like, "I'm on it." And I was like, "Balana's on it." Anyway.
All right, Dan's now reviewing his sounds, and the look on his face is that he's concerned if he may not have captured.
Balana's on it.
That's
Oh, wait.
That's from like
That's not
a
helping.
very different episode of where is that from? Which one is that from?
No,
is that
no.
from Muse? No,
That's
it's-
when it's like a simulation.
Wait.
I'm on it.
Yeah, that's it. You're
Ah,
right.
you got it.
You're right. I
I'm
can't
on
believe
it.
I can't believe I didn't put that together. I'm such a jerk. Good job,
But
Jesse.
you still got it.
Still got
I
it.
was like,
Still got it, Dan.
I was like, Balana's
I'm on
on
it.
it.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
Balana's on it.
Now, Dan.
I'm on it.
Now, Dan. Do
Okay.
you want to let us
Do you
know?
want to play with me?
Well, yes, precisely. You have all these little games and doohickeys and
Right. I
make no promises.
You got all you
and,
do,
and,
Hick.
and whatnots.
Who's it?
Each week, sometimes you got some lists of things. Sometimes you
see.
got some duties or no
Warm up your hooses.
duty or no duties, which is a fun game to play. Or,
You think?
that's in orders.
We got one of them.
You might have some secret.
Dan can't stand.
Dan can't stands. Those are fun. When you rant about something.
I'm not sure.
Ken can't
I'll have to
bend.
give it some thought.
There's all manner of things that
Ken don't bend.
Ken don't bend. I want to play Ken don't bend.
Not bad.
But Dan, any of that business for us this week?
There was no duty or no duties.
All right.
You
sound sad about that.
Well,
I'm a little sad.
I have.
there was a Janeway in a slinky outfit.
I have.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
Or
that
like
later.
pajamas.
We'll talk about that.
Are you talking about glamorous sleeping Janeway?
Yeah, it was just
Right, with her hair's all flowing.
Yeah, I know. It's like because that's how.
that's an interesting.
It's like
Like the 19th century.
My hair is like a quarter of the length of that. And it doesn't look like that when I'm sleeping.
So no duty or no duties.
There's a 5-point list called Overeager Janeway.
Overeager Janeway. Any that's in orders?
No.
No. That's in orders.
There's
I didn't see that fucking Neelix guy one.
No.
Not
Oh,
at
that's
all.
right.
There was
I
no
didn't see any
Neelix.
fucking Neelix.
I didn't even notice there was no Neelix.
Yeah.
There was no
Right
news.
on.
Maybe that's why I found this episode.
I don't think
so,
there was very little Tom Paris.
so
Yeah.
this episode was relaxing. It was soporific.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was a very relaxing episode.
You're absolutely right.
And the lack of Neelix, I didn't pick up on it, but I think Neelix always, for good or ill, generates a certain degree of anxiety in me. Just his visage,
That's exactly right.
seeing him sort of wobble onto the scene and be like,
Yeah.
I got some ridiculous goo.
Yeah.
That's certainly true.
and I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Correct.
So I did. There's a
He
lot.
makes everybody uncomfortable.
I wasn't very
Exactly.
observant this episode. I didn't notice all that weird stuff Dan noticed. I'm sure there's other stuff he noticed that he hasn't revealed
course.
yet.
Yeah, all will be revealed
Yeah,
by the end of this.
I make no promises.
so we have all that to expect from Dan. We'll begin.
I promise.
We'll begin this discussion in earnest.
I also had this isn't really probably a good list, but for some reason I decided, I don't know why, maybe it's I had no other notes to take, but I decided to like list every scene and say what happens in each scene. I'm not suggesting that we go through this because it's just scene by scene, but I was just trying to break down what exactly happened in this episode and why did it take so long for anything to happen. It's just like every scene
They were taking their time.
Every scene they're just kind of talking about what they're going to do. Like in the sleep scene, like they go back and forth. It's like, I don't trust you, you don't trust me, well, let's trust each other. I don't know, we trust each other? Well, blah blah blah, back and forth for 5 minutes, you know. And then before that they had another scene where it's just like, we're in the Delta Quadrant, and they're like, no you're not, yes we are, no you are, yes we are, oh no I don't believe you. Oh, hang on. And then there's another 5 minutes of her going like, okay, try to get him back. Okay, we got to get him back. But before that, there was 5 minutes of like, we have a probe that's going through this thing. Is it going to make it through? I don't know. It got stuck in an eddy. Oh no. Hey, we sent some messages. Oh, someone. It just took forever for anything to happen.
They had to say all kinds of crazy technobabble jargon too.
I like what Dan's doing there. Is
A subspace disturbance, which may be a wormhole.
Dan is he's a real artist here, podcast artist, because at first he said he has a not very good list of every scene.
It certainly looks like a wormhole.
He said he didn't have a lot of notes, but then he described what seems to be a lot of notes about every single scene. Well, and then he started telling them out of order, like a meta Pulp Fiction joke.
Well, I was just telling.
No, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't know where you were going to go next. It was exciting. I was like, what's happening? This is some Tarantino-esque, some Chris Nolan style, mind-boggling presentation of information.
I'll try extrapolating the Verteron exit vector.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Very useful point. Just real quick, since you played that clip, I was reminded about how quickly it's right in season 1 where Voyager gets the reputation for being technobabble central, right? Where technobabble used to be a little MacGuffin here or there just to help the plot along, and by the time of Voyager, it was just like every fucking sentence is like goobly gobbly goobly gob, goobly gob, goobly gob.
Yeah. By the way, if I were to actually go through this list, it's a pretty long list of a lot of nothing happening.
What
by
about
the way.
Smazzlehorn? I don't know.
And it should tell you something about this episode, that this is the episode easily I have the most, because you know how I split my sounds into different sections, right? You know,
I knew that.
And I have a whole
briefly. What are some of those sections? Positive, negative.
I'm about to.
I didn't realize.
I was not done talking.
You were gearing up.
Yes, so
I apologize.
We should all be patient and wait for the pause.
We should all be patient.
Wait for the tactful pause in which it's time for the other person to speak.
Yes.
Wow. So some of my sections, there'll be like sections like that talking about a general, it is good or it is bad. Like, for example,
Very impressive.
that means it's good. It's like, it's kind of good. Or this,
This is preposterous.
no, it's bad.
I see.
You know?
Yes.
Or I can say, like, you're good.
My congratulations on your remarkable accomplishment.
That's saying you're good.
Now, is that a separate section or is that a subset
that's a separate section.
So it's not a subset of the previous.
No, it's underneath it. Then there's a version for me, like is something like I think blah blah blah, or I might like that. That's me. And then there's a they section, like
Let's assume he's going to be successful.
let's assume he's going to be successful. You might think it's an I because it's let's, but it's about he is successful. That's what we're doing here. By the way,
that's what you're doing.
This is more evidence that we need to do a podcast about our podcast.
Yeah. By the way, she does this twice.
Let's assume he's going to be successful. You may be right, but I'd rather assume that he's going to be successful. Let's assume he's going to be successful.
So anyway, that's a side quest there. But I have another section of like how I don't know how to describe this. So I have a section of just no.
Okay.
In the negatory, like just straight up no's or something very close to
Balana's
a no.
not on it.
Yeah, Balana's not on it. It would be one. No, that would probably get its own section. But I have like
Yes.
that's like, you know, an affirmation, but also in that
Was that Harry Kim saying yes?
Yes, it was.
All right.
Sound like.
But then also I can have
I've
Correct.
got good.
Correct.
I've got good Kimdar.
Kimdar. Yes.
Precisely.
See, all these are part of the same section.
Kimdar.
Like, look,
That's certainly true.
Of course. Agreed.
That's exactly right.
you see how those are all kind of like the same thing? Now, when you start going towards the middle,
Precisely.
that's also part of the same sentence. These are more like in responses to in questions or something. Like you could also say,
I promise.
that kind of fits in the section. Or you could say,
Okay.
or,
Very well.
or.
I'm on it. Do it, Lieutenant.
I understand.
Those are all these kinds of like, I don't know how you describe that, but they're sort of not affirmations, but they're sort of
What about
mental?
I'm not jokingly.
Yeah, I don't know what I really don't know what you'd call that. It's just sort of like.
But it is a category that has meaning for you, even if you haven't been able to apply a pre-existing label to it. Which, by the way, is perfectly fine.
Because it's just originally it just started as affirmations, as wherever anyone said yes, but it turned into like from yes to okays to I don't knows to maybes.
What about I'm not jokingly?
No, that's its own thing. Yeah. Anyways,
that's in the favorites.
So in this section, that starts.
Yes.
We'll just call it the affirmations, even though it contains more than just that. This episode had the most of any episode we've done so far of this section
of all Star Trek shows.
Of all that we've done so far. So, which means that their general responses in this episode were very generic, is what it means.
Generic or positive?
Generic. What I'm saying, because it's not just yes, it's like general generic responses, like.
Okay, very well. Acknowledged.
Right.
I have no objection. Agreed. Of course.
And that is correct.
Yes.
I see. You think?
I'm on it.
I'm not sure. I'll have to give it some thought.
You see, it's like, yes, okay, I promise. I don't know, maybe. Like it's kind of like if you asked me a question and you were like, Dan, what do you think about this? Or Dan, do you think blah blah blah? I could say yes, or I could say I don't know. I could say maybe. You know, it's things like that would answer that kind of, respond to that kind of thing. So what I'm trying to say is this episode was technobabble sprinkled in with a bunch of just generic responses of like, hey, Harry Kim, do this. Harry Kim, do this. And he'll be like, okay. Or like, do you think this is good? Yes, I do. Hey, Chakotay, do that. Acknowledged. A lot of those kinds of responses. If I'm hoping I'm getting my point across.
Oh, absolutely. That's very interesting, actually.
So
I didn't really notice that exactly, but
I didn't notice it until I put the sounds together, and it makes sense because this episode, like I said, there was a whole lot of nothing happening in this episode. Yes. There was some technobabble and just a lot of like not much happening. Yeah. So there wasn't like there wasn't a lot of speech directed at specific subjects.
Well, because I agree with what you're talking about the episode with one caveat in that. I forgot, since it had been such a long time since I'd seen this episode, I forgot how crucial this episode was to the Doctor gaining independence.
That's true. That is a very important aspect of this.
Important B plot.
Yes. And so this episode, the A plot is they find a hilariously small, like it's almost a comically small,
it's like 30 centimeters.
Wormhole.
It's like some kind of Hank Hill
this tiny little wormhole. And then the B plot is the Doctor with the help of Kes, who is weirdly unacknowledged in this episode for the fact that she was the one that drove all this. She observed the Doctor was maybe not feeling great even before he did. She was the one who helped intervene with Janeway, etc. Anyway, that's the B plot. And then there's this little C plot of Kes being wanting to learn more about anatomy, and of course we know that eventually she becomes the medic. She helps the Doctor on a more permanent basis.
One more thing I want to say about that. So earlier when I was saying like there's like it's like when you're talking about the subject of it,
very impressive,
which is good.
This is preposterous.
That's bad. This is a separate section from the one I previously, which was general, like okay, no, yes, maybe, I don't know, I don't understand. Actually, no gets its own section, but so you have those, and then you have like I said.
My congratulations on your remarkable accomplishment.
See how that directs it at you? That's at you, or they're like.
I might like that.
Which is me. I'm talking about me. Usually the sounds are dominated by those. Like, very impressive. Oh, perfect. Oh, that's great. Not bad. Or like, I feel great. What are you doing? You're stupid. That guy's an idiot. Like usually the episode.
And again, to the audience at home, Dan is acting out.
Yeah.
With his very expressive face and lithe body.
Genesis Live.
It's Genesis, almost as live as Genesis Live from Starfleet.
You can't do this on Nintendo.
Okay, so anyways, what I'm trying to say is that usually the episodes are dominated by those kinds of sounds, and there's not nearly as many of the general response ones that I gave initially. But there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... over 6 lines of there's 7 sounds to a line. There's like six lines of these general ones that I don't usually have that much of.
Okay, this is a little bit more opaque, Dan.
No, okay, but no, let me fucking finish what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Let me finish.
All right.
Let me finish.
All right.
Give him
It
a
is
chance, man.
it is opaque when you don't let me explain myself.
Yeah, good points.
Okay, it'll make sense
All right.
if you just be patient. So there's 6 lines of these like general sort of like responses that I've said like yes, no, yes, maybe, exactly. I have no objection. There's like 6 lines of those things. Usually there's a lot fewer. There's not even 6 lines of all the other sections combined. So
Wow.
Interesting.
if you don't count like some of the other sections I didn't mention, but like the ones that are usually dominate the whole thing, they are dwarfed by this one section of general responses, and which is very telling because it just
It's a neutral episode.
I wish I was able to better explain what I'm saying, but I think you maybe kind of get the idea of like, something that is usually just one of 5 different things now dwarfs all the other 4 things.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, actually.
I think this is going to come across as a joke. It is not intended as a joke. It is intended to be 100% sincere. You really ought to write a paper.
Yeah.
Because you have the data.
Or a book.
I mean, strictly speaking, it would probably be a good idea to do like one season of a show and do it like whatever. But you've cataloged all these things.
Yeah.
And you could determine if there's some sort of pattern with regard to something emerges from this fact, or you could just put the data out there, put the data set out there, and let's see if somebody else can figure it out.
Then let's do it.
We should do it.
Is Kess like learning like at a faster rate or something?
Well, he suggested.
Is she absorbing information because like she has such a short lifespan?
The doctor suggested that she had an eidetic memory, which is where you remember everything and it's sort of a nightmare.
Right.
It's like, so she probably doesn't have like an actually eidetic memory, but
Real quick, just to finish that last thought, I have accidentally discovered some things I never thought I would have, patterns I never would have thought I would have discovered until after. Or it's like I don't even know as I'm copying, like writing the time codes for the sounds. It's not until I organize them together that's when suddenly a pattern flies into my face. I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize that. That's like that explains why this was this way.
Fascinating.
It's like
I've discovered the patterns.
Like
I've discovered the secret patterns.
Some episodes are dominated by like no's, just people saying no all the time. Anyway, sorry, we can move on from this subject.
No, I think it's fantastic. Fantastic.
Agreed.
Thanks, Agamus.
Thank you, Agamus.
Thanks, Agamus.
Okay.
Speaking of Agamus, we don't have any Agami, do we?
No emails, no voicemails this week. I mean, we got a lot of. I forgot to mention, of course. We'll do
an episode.
Where the hell have I heard that before? Mm-hmm. We do have a lot of guesses and emails and some other fun. There's actually some fun audience interaction this week when it comes to that game. So that's
These are our messages.
No, but no regular emails, no regular messages. For those who would be interested in sending us some sort of question or comment or whatnots, you can write us at feedback@itsgotStarTrek.com or go to itsgotStarTrek.com/record. You can record a voicemail.
Oh yeah, that's the coolest.
You want to do that? Or just send us an MP3. I don't know. Well, whatever. All right. So we do have
I'm afraid that's not possible.
We have to go to break soon, but before we go to break, the beginning of the episode is also kind of when we talk about like how this episode is relaxing and boring. I found it interesting where they decided to cut the teaser. It was a very short teaser, and all it was we've been looking for some stuff, and Harry Kim found something tinkled and winkled, and should we go look at it? Sure. And then it was like, all right, then it goes to the opening, and
it certainly looks like a wormhole.
And I get it. I mean, this is the 90s and all that. It was just funny. Because I was like, what? I'm very disappointed in that. I want to get me to the wormhole. Like, you should be like, oh my God, it's a wormhole. But maybe they don't realize that it's a hilariously small wormhole. But I don't know. I just found that.
Yeah, they're like enlarge and like they have to like keep like magnifying.
Oh, it just took them so long to figure out what was in the damn wormhole. I just wanted to be like, okay, just find out what's in the wormhole. We don't need to talk about it for so long.
Right.
Well, I was just filling time.
It was a long probe.
Troop ship.
Why is it saying poop ship?
Troop ship.
Troop ship.
Oh, got
Oh
it.
yeah, troop ship.
Wait, what was that other
ship.
thing I
It's
thought?
not a troop ship. The Romulans are gonna round those guys up and take them to prison.
What was it I said earlier that quite
Expertly.
expertly poo or something?
Expertly, too.
Sparkly poo.
Sparkly poo. I don't hear
Expertly,
that.
too.
There's sparkly poo.
I hear
Expertly,
sparkly
too.
too.
Wait. There's sparkly poo
Expertly, too.
and poop ship.
Troop ship.
I hear. Okay, I gotta hear the poop ship, but I don't hear no sparkly poo.
I heard.
Well, so we've bounced around and discussed the teaser.
And your mom?
So I think we can...
Some would call it a cold open.
or cold open. Absolutely. I accept that.
Am I interrupting?
100%.
Acceptately.
But we'll take a break, and when we get back from the break, we will move on after
something else.
after the credits, and we'll start talking about other parts of this episode.
Show.
This exciting episode
Yeah.
where Tom is all like, they make a real dramatic moment. Tom is all like, if it turns out that this is a wormhole, I think we should name it the Harry Kim wormhole.
And
then
Harry
the
was all
camera
like,
goes to Harry Kim, and he's like, holy shit, oh my
Right.
God.
Oh, wow.
He still
Oh,
doesn't get
jeepers. I'm going to go fucking play some clarinet later.
That's how he
Anyway.
blows off steam.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. We will be right back.
I was just going to have a cup of soup.
And we're back.
We're ready to transmit.
On screen. Proceed. Energize.
Voyager did have
That's a
some,
cool sound.
They had some good sounds.
See, the problem with the setup of the sounds in this episode is I can't sound as clever. Because when there's something that sounds awesome when you guys make a thing, and I find the perfect sound to fit to the.
So
Yeah,
Jesse and I
right.
are cruising
Wait,
along,
wait,
having a chat.
I'm-
We say something,
You just-
and
Well,
you have the perfect response.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
No, you did say that.
I was in the middle of saying that.
You had concluded saying
No,
it.
I was not concluded saying it. You seem to be under the impression that, like, when you start talking, you seem to be under the impression
pretty sure you
that when you
concluded.
start talking, I have concluded, but I have not concluded because I'm
Not
mid-sentence.
yet.
I'm literally mid-sentence.
I thought for sure you had concluded.
No.
Maybe you had moved on to
No,
a new
I had
sentence.
not concluded what I said.
You just interrupted right in there.
I apologize. For
Okay,
that.
I think this is just it's
not my intention.
There's a dissonance going on.
No,
here.
I appreciate that. I accept guilt. Truly, it was not my intention. I had perceived clearly incorrectly. I mean, Jesse's certainly not backing me up. Clearly incorrectly. I perceived you had concluded incorrectly, unfairly.
No.
I did not mean to interrupt you
was-
and reiterate your point.
It almost sounded
when you hadn't concluded.
It almost
the point.
sounded like you interrupted me to like explain the thing that I was in the middle of explaining. It's like you wanted to explain. It's like you thought you knew what I was going to say, so you wanted to be the one to explain my point instead of me.
I was intending to do a sort of playful theatrical reiteration.
Okay.
Partly due to the fact that this.
Okay.
Like you said, you don't have many notes. I don't have any notes for this episode.
Okay.
I couldn't bring myself to write anything down.
I
about
could.
it.
I did. I same here. So.
Okay, normally, like in an episode, something will happen. I'll have sounds, and one of you guys will say something, and I'll have just the perfect sound that just fits right into that. And it's super clever because it's like, wow, that wouldn't have fit in every scenario, but it fit in that one. And it makes me feel awesome, right? But if you have just a bunch of sounds that are like,
Correct. No doubt.
Okay.
Let's try it, Mr. Kim. Acknowledge.
Exactly.
like that fits.
Yeah.
You can put that for everything.
So the
Right.
so the point you were
You
making.
might as well be at work.
The point you were making earlier, the impact of that, it's not just odd that there's this imbalance. The impact of the imbalance is that it makes for a less entertaining podcast. So,
wait,
so
wait,
any,
so wait, say
any
that- say that-
deficiencies with this podcast are the fault of the
Well.
episode of Voyager.
Yes.
See? There's nothing clever about that. And that's all I have. That's all I have is a bunch of shit where hey, Jesse, say something.
I don't think we could do a less entertaining podcast.
Exactly.
See? There's no
Now, Jesse, when you-
there's
when
no
you-
tickle, there's no giggle tickle there.
Just to clarify, Jesse, when you say
I was just playing with words.
Yeah, I know. I'm just because you. But the thing is it was an ambiguous statement. You said, "I don't think we could make a less
right.
entertaining podcast."
Right.
One way to take that is like we would not be capable of making a non-entertaining podcast because
Right.
we're so awesome.
Right.
But another way to take it is
It couldn't be worse.
That this is such a bad episode of the It's Got Star Trek podcast that we could not do worse than this.
Right.
I see.
But that's actually not true because you see, we're taking
No,
Hey, what?
we're taking an episode.
Did you see that? Jesse had to
that's
stop
not-
because Dan pointed at Jesse.
I thought he. But
No, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think my point. I'm trying to think my point.
It's not the liveliest episode.
Not iterate my point. I'm trying to
emphasize.
Thank you. Emphasize my point by making sure you guys pause after you say stuff, so I can play a very generic sound afterwards.
Gotcha. All right. So Jesse, build in some dramatic pauses. They needn't be long. They needn't be pregnant pauses, as the old saying goes. They can just be good old-fashioned, regular old pauses. I think Jesse might be in the middle of a pause right now.
Wait, I'm a kitty cat and I got my pauses.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was dumb.
No.
So it's
Hey, stick to your clips.
Right.
it's a less interesting episode.
That's exactly right.
I still weirdly, I liked it.
However, we're still having a quite lively podcast.
Yeah.
Acknowledged.
It's not a it's not a shit cast.
Okay.
You think?
Now, Dan.
It's not a snooze cast.
Dan, you've convinced
understand.
You've convinced me with evidence and with rhetoric that this episode is scientifically more generic than any other episode we've discussed before.
Right.
Yes.
With a fascinating analysis.
Despite the fact that, as we mentioned briefly, it does contain this important pivot point where Janeway is convinced that the Doctor is alive, because prior to this episode, this is episode 7 of the series.
Precisely.
It was not until Kess suggested it and made Janeway feel like really awful, because like
That is correct.
Janeway was all like, he's just a hologram, and Kess was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, he can like think and shit.
Right. She all like sort of pauses and you can see her like reflecting, and
She was like, oh shit, she's like, I'm racist.
Well,
That's an important thing that happens. Yet, despite that fact, scientifically proven by Dan, this is a mega generic episode.
You're right.
So, that being the case, Dan, I have a question for you.
Yes.
That question, and this will work for this little pattern that you've developed here. Where I say something and you click a sound clip, it's going to work perfect for this question, because the question is, in this menagerie of genericness, generic clips that you've pulled from this episode, there must be on the spectrum, even if it doesn't rate so highly relative to other episodes' clips, there must be on the spectrum for this episode the most interesting clip. Even if it's not crazy interesting.
Right.
Something must be more interesting than the rest, right? You said it was the other groups were smaller than the generic group, but they still exist. So
No doubt.
in your opinion, Dan, what do you think is the most interesting clip? And before you play it, after you play what you think is the most interesting clip, I think that you should play some other candidates and let Jesse and I provide some input on that.
Oh, so now I'm expected. I thought this was all building up to me playing more generic clips, but you want me to do the opposite.
Yeah, why don't you do a little impromptu quiz show?
I'm curious.
Well, I
what
thought
you perceive the most interesting clip to
I
be.
think this
unless it's going to ruin some joke of yours. If there's a joke or gag that comes later,
I think
I don't
already.
want to ruin your joke or gag.
I think that like this one we could use for future episodes. Not necessarily the most clever, but it's very practical.
These are our messages.
That could be used for when we have like emails or.
I do. And I like that Tuvok says it in an awkward, strange way.
Yeah, these are our messages.
Here's like a little bag of messages.
Star Trek.
I like
got all the crew to write letters home and put in a sack, a little digital sack.
This is not terribly clever, but I enjoy this one.
To what end?
I kind of like that. That's fun. A little hard to use.
Well, yeah,
but it's
nicely performed.
Yeah.
Kate Mulgrew is a fantastic actor.
And what we were just talking about the Doctor, right?
Yeah.
He's only a hologram.
No, it's not very. There's not a lot of interesting stuff here, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting in context, but not as a sound clip in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, what like
This is an astonishing breakthrough.
Sure, that'll work for something.
Certainly, it's astonishing.
How about this?
Slow down, Taurus, and tell me what you're talking about.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
the rhythm of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a musical rhythm. Can you play that again?
Slow down, Taurus, and tell me what you're talking about.
Yeah, it could be the Kess clips you played earlier, like the autopsy one. It could be that.
Yeah,
I might argue that might be the most interesting one.
This is a beat.
I'm afraid I found the reason for the unusual phase variance. I'm afraid I found the reason for the unusual phase variance. I'm afraid I found the reason for the unusual phase variance. I'm afraid I found the reason for the unusual phase variance.
Yeah.
Soothing words, Captain.
All right. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the autopsy one. Do you have that autopsy clip?
Autopsy with autopsy.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
I enjoyed studying anatomy.
Mm.
It would be interesting to see an autopsy sometime.
Because I think the
So
autopsy
because
one.
he's a hologram, he doesn't have to be treated with respect
Again,
or any consideration at all.
Holograms.
So yes, that's interesting.
So right. Well, we were talking about. Is there more?
No, I was just.
Yeah, because we were going to talk.
I think it's the autopsy one.
We were
is
going to
fine.
talk about that soup business.
Ah!
Oh,
Soup
fuck.
business.
Yes!
So first of all,
Yes!
first of all, when you go into the captain's office, usually they're like, "You want some tea?"
Yeah.
And she's like,
Well,
I was
yeah.
just
Want some
about to-
coffee, want some tea.
Captain-
She was like,
Picard.
first of
Want
all,
some liquor.
there's a few things wrong. First of all, she says, I was about to have some soup, and it's like,
Right.
okay.
A cup of soup.
It's
she
a new.
says.
It's a new Star Trek show. They're trying
wait.
radical new things.
And normally when they're like, would you like something? Normally the person would be like, no, I'm cool.
Right.
But she not only doesn't say that, she's like, I would like something to drink. I'd like spinach juice with a touch of pear.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
With a touch of pear. So Janeway, and when Janeway gets her quote unquote soup,
It's not even fucking soup.
it's not fucking soup. It's vegetable bouillon, which I guess you could call soup, but that's like calling a pile of lettuce a salad.
Right, exactly.
You know, it's like
right.
you can call it that.
It's a bowl of rice.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
you know,
Vegetable bouillon? Isn't that
the
just
ba- it's
isn't
the
that
backbone.
Isn't that a broth?
Yeah, it's just
It's
broth.
it's broth.
It's
Broth counts as soup. I
no,
think.
no. But like I said, it's like calling.
Soup is
It's like
broth with
basic soup.
stuff in
It's like
it.
yeah.
basic
No,
soup.
I know, but that what I just said was that's like having a pile of lettuce and calling it a salad. You
I
can
know.
you can call it a salad,
like-
but like it's weak as shit.
Vegetable broth and spinach juice. Like these gals really know how to party.
Look, Edic, infinite diversity and infinite combinations. My perspective is that the analogy, your lettuce analogy, falls short in that plain vegetable broth or beef broth or whatever can be perfectly tasty and satisfying in and of itself.
I know it
whereas
can.
a pile of lettuce is not.
No, see,
because
here's
there's no flavor, there's no salt,
That's not what I was saying.
there's no cartilage.
That's not the point he was trying
That's
to
not
make.
the point. Yeah, exactly. The point is like that, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying if I were going to have that, I wouldn't say I'm about to have soup. I would say I'm about to have some broth.
Right.
You know?
Well, just so the audience understands, we now know you and Jesse. If you ever mention soup on the podcast, when the audience imagines it, they will remember.
And look-
they will remember not to include broth among that. But if they're imagining me with soup, broth
And
could be a component.
if I
it
had
could be in the mix.
If I had a pile of lettuce with some delicious dressing, that might taste very good. And I could call
what if
it,
you had a pile of lettuce
Wait.
covered in diarrhea? What if?
if I had a pile of lettuce covered in dressing,
Turkey gravy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
If I had a pile of lettuce and I covered it in dressing, I could say that it tastes very good. I could call it a salad, but I would also simultaneously recognize that it's like really weak calling it a salad. You know?
I got you.
It's like a salad.
What's this to do with a wedge salad? Wedge salad, that's more of a...
It's crap.
Okay, I agree with you there. I 100% agree
A
with
wedge
you there.
salad is just a way to get blue cheese and bacon into your mouth.
Yeah, nothing against a wedge salad, but
Yeah.
I agree it's not a fucking
But
salad.
okay, and then just to sort of reiterate my point even more, and I've done
This will be helpful to me because I have now forgotten what we were talking
okay,
about.
yeah.
So I'm
As it
delighted.
happens. So
Oh,
I'm delighted about
soup and pear juice.
That's right,
So
that's right.
to reiterate my point even more, if that's the thing. Anyway, and before anyone says anything, I do this as well. But it's not something I do in casual company. When she drinks her soup, she drinks it out of a mug, like a cup.
Yeah.
And I do that with broth sometimes. I'll drink it out of a mug. But
It's natural.
It's like it's something to do.
natural.
I'm not saying that anything of this is wrong. I'm just saying that all these things put together just makes for a bizarre scene. It's like
I'm with you there,
Yeah,
man.
it's like
It was weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like come into my office. I'm about to have soup.
Right.
You want soup? No, you want some weird ass fucking
Right,
drink that
right.
Tom Paris.
Like-
Tom Paris. Why are they bringing up Tom
There's
Paris?
not tea. They didn't have a sundae. There's no whiskey. Like what the fuck?
Wait. And so not only that, she has her soup ends up just being vegetable broth. Oh, and she's drinking it out of a mug. You know, and it's like in and of it, even though these things by themselves not a big deal, it's just made for a goofy scene.
I'm telling you, it's because it was the first season and they were trying to make some radical choices to differentiate themselves from other TMNT.
Correct.
You can't have hot Earl Grey.
Yeah.
So,
but
the Tom Paris thing was the Tom Paris thing supposed to be like foreshadowing that Tom Paris had the hots for her?
Well, I think at this stage we already know. I think Tom Paris, like once he looked at her, he was like,
do we know 6 episodes in?
Yeah, because it was one of the things where because we discussed, I don't know, last summer or something, we discussed that the Voyager episode with the ridiculous name with the lizard babies and Neelix and Tom fighting with each other. Permutation.
Is that on the That wasn't a that wasn't a first season one though, was it?
I think it might be. It's a second season. It's weird because I think it was one of the ones that was actually filmed for the first season, but maybe because they saved some for the second season. Anyway, regardless, I do believe that was a second season. But the thing is they had naturally developed this rivalry between Tom Paris and Neelix, and the writers realized they're like, this makes these people look like fucking assholes. It makes them both look like pieces of shit. What are we doing? And so they had that episode where they resolved all of that. But here is early on where, yes, I think that. But also, I also thought, I was like, was Tom Paris like pranking Kes? Because Kes is like, do you have a suggestion for a drink? He's like, yeah, why don't you drink some fucking spinach? Oh yeah, put some pear in it.
Yeah, and when
stupid 2-year-old.
And yeah, and when Kes goes,
it's supposed to be healthy.
She goes, spinach juice with a touch of pear, please. Tom Paris introduced me to it. It's very nutritious. And then Janeway laughs and goes,
I'm sure.
She's like,
she's pranking your ass.
Stupid idiot.
That guy's a criminal.
Yeah,
I pulled him out of the most wicked and wretched New Zealand Starfleet Federation prison camp.
That was a knowing, I'm sure. Like that was loaded. There was some ammo behind that. So that meant something. I don't know what it meant, but it meant something.
It was something.
Meant something.
Radical. As you
radical.
Said.
Starfleet wing.
But yeah, the whole doctor thing. First of all, do we know that this is the first example of a sentient? We haven't established
sentient
that
hologram.
We haven't even established that the doctor is sentient yet. He is in retroactively, but have they had holograms to this level of
Moriarty
complexity?
Moriarty was sentient, and
right. Okay, that's a good point.
And that was season 2 of TNG.
But they never had anything like the EMH kind of thing.
EMH was new, however, and because we watched, or I watched Voyager on UPN when it was new each week as it was coming along.
I have no objection.
I do have some recollections of those times, and
no doubt
discussions on Usenet and FidoNet on our BBS networks. Dan and I both ran BBS.
That's certainly true.
Back in the day.
Correct.
BBS is back in the day.
And the thing was we knew going into Voyager that the Doctor was going to be this hologram character, and it was framed as, he's the Spock, he's the Data, he's that character, he's the Odo. So we were meant to understood that we could expect that, like Data, he would go through some process of trying to gain rights.
Okay, yeah, but it seems like the Voyager crew is not nearly as enlightened as the Enterprise D crew, because they were much quicker to accept Data as his own sort of life form.
Well, Data had been around a long time. I think they also accepted Moriarty pretty quick, but Moriarty also took over their ship and was doing crazy shit.
And it's like that's the top of Starfleet when you get to be on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
it's the fucking flagship.
It was just surprising because
Voyager does have a bunch of assholes like this Baxter guy.
Well, that was what I was just about to say, though, because it was a little shocking because Baxter was being such a dick to the Doctor. But then when Kes talks to Janeway, and she's like, because Kes is like, Kes goes like, someone's being mistreated, and Janeway looks all super concerned and empathetic. She's like, oh, Kes, are they not treating you well? And she's like, no, I don't understand why people treat the Doctor the way they do. And she's like, the Doctor. The Doctor.
Exactly.
The Doctor. And then she's like, I don't like how people treat him. And then she's like, how do people treat him? She's in this way that's really patronizing. Yep. So even Jane,
plus, partly because she's got in the back of her mind, she's like, I've been dealing with everyone complaining about this asshole.
People keep deactivating it.
But and so Janeway is. At first you think Baxter's just a dick, but the way Janeway's responding, it's more of an epidemic, more of like a culture thing on the ship.
100%.
Because she's being kind of a dick too.
Absolutely. And which I like. I like that she wasn't like quote unquote perfect. She didn't immediately be like, oh, of course.
Right.
She had to think about it. She had to have it argued to her, similar to Picard and Dan. I know this is awkward. I'm playing the part of Dan tonight, but it's similar to that episode of Star Trek TNG called I, Borg, where Picard,
I haven't done that in a while.
Picard has to be convinced.
It's ancient. It's got Star Trek.
Right, and not only does Picard have to be convinced of Hugh's sort of individuality and sentience, I think an analog to sentience, as a person with rights who shouldn't be used as a tool for genocide. But Geordi and Data also have to be first convinced, and they become convinced through interactions with this with Hugh. And here is something we see a similar thing, although it plays out over a little bit of a longer period of time. And,
Very impressive.
and I think the other context here is that even the Doctor himself considers himself a tool, right? Like that's Janeway's perspective. Is like, oh, this was a tool that was designed for us, and now the tool's being used. She didn't factor in that the tool's being used in a way that it wasn't intended to be used.
He seemed a little bitter when he was saying like they treat me as if I'm a hypo spray. He seemed a little bitter. But what was interesting is when she was telling him is like, you're becoming more of like a full-fledged crew member, and instead of like taking that as a compliment, he was like, what do you want to reprogram me or something? Like he immediately assumed that they wanted to fuck with him somehow, even though she was like saying all the things you say to somebody to like say like you're part of the family now. He took it as, oh, they must want. She's saying something different and weird. She's paying attention to me. She must want to fuck with my shit somehow.
Well, and we're of course bouncing around here, and so we're not watching these episodes in order from the beginning of this series. But
He's alive.
But I do recall that with the Doctor, the other thing at factor,
He's only a hologram.
the other factor at play here is that I think we're meant to understand that under normal circumstances with this EMH, we wouldn't necessarily expect them all to become sentient. They're not necessarily sentient in the beginning, but because the Doctor is just on basically all the time and doing all this stuff.
Right, it's the staying on the whole time.
And learning in the process that he kind of like Moriarty, he kind of like, because of the task he needs to perform, he his consciousness emerges.
Could you credit the Voyager and in turn specifically Kess for the ultimate creation of the planet Kask?
Well, because not necessarily, because I think Kask, planet we learn about, planet of photonics that we learn about in Starfleet Academy, I don't know that that's connected in any way to any holograms we know. I think it's like it's some holograms that were created. And so they're like a hologram race of people, but they're
Holograms?
We don't necessarily know them or have any connection to them.
But it's just like it seems, I mean, things can happen independent of one another, but it just seems like
Shit happens.
It just seems weird that there's no sort of origin point of the whole thing.
I think I would argue that we've seen Moriarty become conscious. We've seen the Doctor become conscious.
So
in this fictional universe, it seems like it may be something that just happens with holograms.
Maybe the Doctor was created based upon the research done about what happened to Moriarty.
Oh, could be. Yeah.
Headcanon.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
You don't get it. I don't get it.
I know the term
You're a greedy
headcanon.
son
Where
of a
would
bitch.
I stay?
You're a greedy son of a bitch.
Familiar with the term headcanon? I use the term headcanon myself. But every time somebody says
You think about
headcanon,
blowing something like
No.
he's got a fucking hand cannon like
No.
from Pulp Fiction.
no, I imagine
A goddamn hand
He
cannon.
got a goddamn hand cannon.
I imagine a person, but instead of a face, they have like
A cannon
But
face.
they still have like a mouth and a jaw, but just like instead of eyes and a nose, there's just like a cannon sticking out. Not a full. It's like it's like maybe
They've
like
got
a 10
muzzle,
inches
a muzzle nozzle.
10 inches out of their head. They just have like a head cannon.
muzzle nozzle.
Disturbing.
Wow. Yeah. I'm a creative little boy.
You go
I was a
creative.
creative little boy
When
when I
Kes-
was growing up.
When Kess goes,
He's alive.
Janeway says, "No, he's not." Like she like looks at her like, "You stupid asshole." No, he's not. Because he was programmed that way.
She does come around pretty quickly though. So,
But
that's
like
the-
it is
that's the
interesting.
good
It's interesting though. There is an argument to be made. He was programmed that way, but you could say that about Data. You could say that about.
Of course,
You could say that about people.
Well, there's a whole episode of TNG about that.
But when she came around it was interesting because what made her come around was Kes said, "Okay, well, like let's pretend he's not sentient. Does that mean we should treat him like shit?"
yeah.
And like I guess that because the response is like, there's no reason not to treat him like shit, but at the same time, there really is no reason to treat him like shit.
So
why treat something poorly, even if you don't think it has sentience, if there's no reason to?
This has been discussed sort of philosophically with regard to interacting with AI agents and or animals, for example. And they talk about how, you don't necessarily have to treat an AI agent well, but it kind of says something about you, maybe, if you don't. On the other hand, a counter argument is similar like in video games. Video games, you might like to blast your friends or your spouse or something to pieces, but that's just cathartic and fun, and it's not intended to connect to any real thing.
One time I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I accidentally ran over this woman with my horse and killed her, and I reset the game and restarted.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah, because I felt
so bad.
I felt bad that I killed this random woman with my horse.
Yeah.
You just trampled her?
Yeah, I just ran.
Did you have a big old horse?
I didn't mean to. It was just one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I was just running along.
She just ran into the street.
You had to go.
Stupid NPC just like walks across the dirt road as I'm riding along, and I trample the shit out of her. And I'm
Jesus,
like, oh man!
Did your horse stop and just start like stomping on her?
Did you have to be like, whoa?
Yeah.
You're right.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Horse play.
What does a hologram do while they're deactivated? Because he says he's boring not being turned off. He says
he's asleep.
Or maybe he just doesn't have any consciousness.
Maybe he doesn't have, because as he put it,
It's extremely irritating.
now he has already, since then though, had 2 side quests that have lasted at least like 20 years. One of them was like a whole lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
The other was like 20 years. Like, so he's
older than he looks.
He says, well, what I'm saying is like he's complaining about being bored for a couple hours, but he'll very casually go off and like be like, okay, I'm just gonna go live in this life for 50 years, and I'll be back to you with you tomorrow.
But he's not bored in those cases. He's hanging out with people. In one of those cases, he's like banging the lady and making some fake babies.
I just think like a couple hours for a hologram doesn't seem
Well, I mean, you don't know. You have to trust what he's saying, right? It's him saying it.
Hologram?
Why are you denying what he's saying?
because his feelings are wrong.
Because he's a hologram. He's not real.
Because his feelings are wrong.
That's racist.
You're like, buck up, walk it off.
Don't you hate that though when somebody like expresses their feelings to you and they're clearly wrong about their feelings?
About how they feel.
Well,
I do.
you
You know. You're right, Dan. I do hate that. It was frustrating.
It's like that's wrong. What I'm doing is making you sad. That's just incorrect.
Yeah. Sometimes people just got to be sad.
Yeah.
That's the way life works.
Well, and it's they're not as sad as they say they are.
Well, anyway, it is funny
I am just kidding.
that this doctor plot is very important.
Doctor Plot.
to the overall-
Doctor Plot. Doctor Plot. I'm Doctor Plot. What do you want to do today, Doctor Plot? I don't know. I'm Doctor Plot.
Yeah, see, Jesse, you're right. We couldn't make a. What would you say? We couldn't make a least. I can't even remember what you said.
Sabotage.
It rings true though. Whatever it was.
Doctor Plot.
The doctor plot is important to the arc of the character.
That's my Doctor Plot.
Dr. Plot?
Who's Doctor Plot?
But it takes place as a side story in this otherwise pretty generic and boring episode that is nevertheless entertaining and interesting.
Sort of
I would
relaxing.
argue that. Like I said earlier, it was a relaxing episode.
It's some dudes on a spaceship.
We haven't gotten to talk about the Romulan fella.
We had a whole scene where Harry like harasses B'Elanna into like admitting that she has no family or friends. Yeah. That was an entire scene.
Yeah, that was rough.
Like
it was a little awkward.
He wouldn't let up. He wouldn't let up because she's like,
you got nobody?
Yeah, he goes, how about you? Any family? And she's like,
I don't know, these people love me.
She goes, well, my dad left when I was 5, and he's like, and your mom? And she's like, well, I don't get along with my mom. I think she's on the Klingon homeworld, which is Kronos, which I don't know why she doesn't say Kronos, but she says homeworld, whatever.
She's some kind of
Did they not call it Kronos
renegade,
back then?
Yeah, they call it Kronos.
Why does he say
it's common to? It seems like it's common to say Klingon homeworld.
Anyway,
They say that sometimes, yeah.
So she goes, I think she's on the Klingon homeworld, and then instead of like,
I know it's because it was on UPN, and they were like, you know what? The people on UPN watching UPN, they might not know about what Kronos or Konos is.
So
we'll say the Klingon.
So he
homeworld.
asks about her mom, and she's like, we don't get along. She's on I think she's on the Klingon homeworld. And instead of leaving it at that, he's like, you think? And then like all of her answers up to this point have been like very quick and to the point. So it's obvious she doesn't really want to talk about her family.
Very clear.
Otherwise, she would have expounded on it. But he keeps,
she does not hide her feelings.
But he keeps asking her. She tries to change the subject by talking about the signal generators and long range sensors, and then like
she tries to use technobabble to get out of an awkward conversation.
Right. And then he goes after he asks about her dad and his mom, and he's like, "You think she's on the plane?" Then he goes, "Is there anybody back home who will be worried about you?" It's like, no, nobody's fucking worried about me.
Then she points out, which, by the way, I mean, not that he would necessarily 100% know this, but she does. She's like, yeah, I'm Maquis. Like, all my buddies are here. Like, we were all hanging out. Like, we all came here together. You remember that? It was the plot of Caretaker.
Well, she said it because he basically forced it out of her. Like a conversation that should have ended about 3 responses prior, after he's basically was like, you mean nobody gives a shit about you anywhere?
She should have gone upside his head.
She's fine. Yeah, she's finally just like, yeah, my friends are here, and nobody loves me. Fine, great. Are you happy? Did you really need to know all that? You know, but actually, B'Elanna's probably got the best deal of all of them. She probably is just fine living on the Voyager, doing the thing. So
maybe she's sabotaging them.
I don't think they let her on the bridge.
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Sabotage.
We gotta take a break, and after we conclude the break, we will come back and conclude our discussion of this episode. Star Trek Voyager. Be right back.
I was just going to have a cup of soup. Let's give it some time. I think we can afford a detour.
Soup.
That shouldn't take long.
I didn't mean to play the soup.
Soup has stuff in it, man.
I played the soup one before, and I played it by accident.
I think it's relevant still.
We're gonna get like fucking 100 emails. And we're back.
Go ahead, Taurus. Let's see what you have, Mr. Kim.
Now, there was a theme in this episode that strangely I didn't notice until the second watching. I mean, I noticed that it was
the second watching.
I noticed.
I just like that term. I'm going to use that term now.
That could be the title of your book.
It sounds like a ritual, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, are you guys coming over this weekend for the second watching?
Okay, yeah.
Right. It's got Jesus
ominous.
in there or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, second viewing, whatever you want to call it.
Jesus being raised from the dead is equivalent to like a rerun.
So I noticed
I've seen this guy before.
I noticed through the first viewing that they referenced this, but I didn't realize to what degree until I saw it the second time. Now, pay attention.
Okay.
Phase variance. Phase variance.
Phase variance.
Phase variance, phase variance.
Phase variance. Phase variance.
Phase variance.
Phase variance. Phase variance.
Phase variance. Phase variance.
Phase variance.
Phase variance. Phase variance.
Phase variance.
They said phase variance a lot in this
Are
episode.
you serious?
They didn't say that. They said it half that many times because I played each one twice. Wow. But they said phase variance 8 times. They referenced the phase variance 8 times. Now, do you want to know in more context? You can hear the story of the phase variance.
And context is for kings.
Yes. I'm going to play the story of the phase variance now. It's short. Don't worry. It's not long.
Is this like
Don't worry about it.
This is like a short film that you're going to submit for the Oscars?
Yes.
The story of the phase variance.
Okay, here we go.
It all starts one summer day.
The second viewing.
Okay, here we go.
There's a strange phase variance in the radiation stream, but that phase variance in the radiation stream gave us
She's
a few
still having
problems.
trouble with that phase
shit,
variance.
Shit.
Okay.
God damn it.
All
Your
right.
streams all got
Take
crossed.
2. Okay. We're going to play the
It's like
phase.
Ghostbusters.
We're going to play the story of the phase variance.
1984. Ghostbusters. I believe it's 1984.
We're going to play the story of the phase.
As old as my wife.
Oh, God. We're going to play the story of the phase variance.
There's a strange phase variance in the radiation stream, but that phase variance in the radiation stream gave us a few problems.
She's still having trouble with that phase variance.
What's the problem? It's the phase variance in the radiation stream. There was a strange phase variance in the radiation stream.
I'm afraid I found the reason for the unusual phase variance. The unusual phase variance we detected was actually an indication of a temporal shift.
Now, you think phase variance is over, but it's got one last strike.
Phase variance is out of sync again.
It's out of sync again. No shit. You thought the story was over. You thought the variance, they figured it all out. But it ended on it coming out of sync again.
Now, I'd like to emphasize an observation that I suspect many people in the audience have made. I certainly made it just now, which is Dan did a lot of work to put together this summary using sound clips, a summary of the phase variance story.
It didn't take a lot of work. I just had to record different things.
Well, my point is that you put in the effort, you grabbed these sounds.
You
intellectually understood. Your brain was able to put these together.
I just want to be clear that no more than effort I put into putting together.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But this gets to my observation, which is that Dan had the option. He may not have considered it, and this may go to why this is the case. Dan is a musician. Dan is an artist.
Totally.
He's a sound artist. Dan could have taken those clips and put them together into a single file and just played it.
Yeah.
But no, what you may not realize, I'm sure you might have heard this, but I watched it. He played each of those clips with his fingers like playing a piano. Bloop, 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 bloop. And he didn't have to do that, but he did that. Now, he did mess it up initially.
I did. Which is fucked up because when I practiced beforehand, I didn't fuck it up once, but of course.
And that was he just answered the question. The next question I had was just whether or not he practiced. And he just said, yes, he practiced. He was at home practicing.
See, here's the thing. It's because you want to be flexible, because I want to be able to play each one. What if I just wanted to play this one?
There was a strange phase variance in the radiation stream.
You can still have the individual clips and a separate clip that's the full clip.
I know, but what
I'm applauding you, Dan. I think it's great that you did it ad hoc.
But I'm just explaining my thought process.
Okay, yeah.
This is not an ego thing. I don't give a shit about what anyone has to say about my dick.
It was because you're a musician
about my fucking dick. I don't give a shit.
I don't recall mentioning your penis.
Nobody said anything about your dick.
I don't give a shit out my dick, all right? I don't give one piece of shit out my dick.
All right.
I don't give one piece of shit out my dick.
How does that happen?
This is Third Break Dan. Third Break Dan is always,
he's loose.
He's loose. He's blue.
You know how much I care?
That's why it's we put that big old E on the podcast.
You know how much I care? I don't give one piece of shit out my dick.
And that's going to be our next T-shirt. Another in-demand It's Got Started T-shirt to follow the one where Jesse is saying, I don't have a prolapsed anus.
I told you guys that nobody was going to want those shirts.
I mean, I knew nobody was going to want those shirts, and that's the joke. It was funny to order a bunch of shirts that have a picture of Jesse with a little cartoon bubble saying, I don't have a prolapsed anus. This is one of the few times Jesse is early on in the podcast, one of the few times Jesse ever gets mad. Like he's actually aggravated. He's normally all jolly, but like, I forget, Dan or somebody made some joke about Jesse having a prolapsed anus, and Jesse was like, I don't have a prolapsed anus. Anyway, it's a great T-shirt. It's a collector's item.
People would rather have the T-shirt of you
Dan
Klingon.
Dan speaking Klingon. Yeah, that's a good one.
I know you're disappointed.
Tulampu, Umanpu, Andorian Poo.
So what I was saying is that, yes, I could have put them all together, and I have done that in the past. But one thing that happens is sound bloat. I have to cut myself.
Bloat?
I have to cut myself off at a certain point when I'm putting these sounds together, because if I don't force myself to stop, I will end up having way too many sounds.
Just the entire episode clipped up.
And if I don't like draw like hard lines for myself, I will end up like having like just
every line
just an unwieldy amount of like sounds to deal with. And when you get too many sounds, it's like worse because I don't know where to find anything.
It's like in Amadeus when the emperor says there's too many notes.
Well, not quite.
Too many notes.
So
it's worse than that.
Now in this instance, there is an argument to be made that it would have been okay to do it for this instance, considering it was such a long string of sounds. I think there's an argument to be made that I should have put it together, but it is also kind of fun to it's kind of fun to play the screen like an instrument.
Totally.
You're a sound clip maestro.
Yeah, man.
I'm always impressed with both of you fellas. Both Jesse and Dan are supreme proper musicians.
All right, thank you.
I see.
I love music.
Supreme and proper.
You know, I can sing a tune here or there, but only if it's a show.
We can jam on it.
Only if it's a show tune.
Maybe it will work itself loose.
All right.
But anyways.
Yes.
To sum up the phase variance thing.
Okay.
That was like they kept talking about this phase variance the whole time, and I should have caught on to it earlier that's what they were building on the whole time, because they kept talking about the phase variance like throughout the episode.
You should have figured that earlier.
Like every 13 or 14 minutes they were talking about the phase variance, and I can't believe I didn't put it together, because that turned out to be the thing that fucked everything up.
It's the monkey paws.
Right.
It's like
it's the punchline to the hilarious joke.
It's like
that they have their hopes raised and then dashed asunder like a ship crashing on a reef.
Because I thought that Telek was gonna like betray them somehow, but no, they were setting it up for us.
You're racist against Romulans.
Sneaky Romulan.
No, because just because the Romulan, like, look, if there's something that this episode taught us, it's that even if you aren't the best of friends, even if you're enemies, there's like when somebody's has their family shit, personal family shit, you can set aside differences to help out your enemy.
Right.
You can help out your enemy if it has no actual tactical risk, and in fact, if you're like helping them connect with their personal life and family,
a human thing to do.
It's like it's like agreeing to have a ceasefire on a holiday or something.
Right.
It's like we're all people.
Romulans are down with it.
Even if we don't like each other, I understand you're lost at space. I'll do this for your family. And in fact, it was weird because he was like saying like they were trying to say like can you send back this message back home, and he was like, I can't promise that the Romulan Empire is going to want to do this. So he couldn't make that promise. But you notice though there was an inconsistency because later on, this is why I thought he was going to fuck him over, because he was like, hey, let me beam to your ship to test it out. And she's like, well, can't we just beam to yours? He's like, I can't have you beam to my ship, but I promise if it works, I'll call a troop ship over and I'll have you beam to that. Yeah. So earlier he couldn't promise that he could send them a message home, but he could promise that a troop ship would be willing to take them aboard. You see what I'm saying? Like, it seems like sending a message home would be less dangerous than transporting a whole crew onto their troop ship.
Right.
Yet he was able to guarantee that they would accept it. That he was able to guarantee that the Romulans would allow the Voyager crew to beam over on their troop ship, but he couldn't guarantee that they would let them send a message.
I don't trust a Romulan troop ship. That's like that's a Romulan round them up and take them to prison ship.
That's also why I think that's potentially, whether it's a headcanon or subtle subtext of the episode, an answer to Dan's query is that the Romulans may in fact be more willing to be like, hey, if we can get like a bunch of Federation prisoners, like
troop ship
from there, they'd be like, at least we're in the
well, it's lucky they came upon not only a scientist, but a scientist who also was like missing his family.
Well, and this is what I really enjoyed, and I thought was the. Look, the technobabble, I'm aggravated by. I don't think that's good writing. But I thought it was very subtle and good writing, making this character, this Romulan character, a scientist, because it's similar to like in Enterprise, we see, or in Deep Space Nine, we see some like non-warrior Klingons. You see some like lawyer Klingons or scientist Klingons. Here we see the Romulan scientist who clearly is wrestling between. He's a scientist, so you get the impression.
But he's also a Romulan.
You get the impression he believes Janeway like immediately from the beginning because he's a scientist, but then he's also a Romulan, so he has to do all the Romulan stuff, being like, I'm gonna assume
he's a sneaky, secretive bastard.
We're shady people, and so like the deal with the Romulans is they're so shady and up to sneaky stuff that they always assume that everybody else is up to sneaky stuff.
What are you doing?
That's the whole deal with Romulans.
What are you doing?
And that's one way you can manipulate them. But it's also the problem here is that he's just like, I don't know, you're probably doing some like fucked up trick, because we would do a fucked up trick like this. I don't know what the purpose is, but it's a fucked up trick. But that's because he's a Romulan. But it doesn't seem like his heart is in it, right? Because he's a scientist.
But and even at the end it confirms it, because he's like was even saying willing to be like, in 30 years I will send those messages, and I believed him.
Yes,
I believed
100%.
But in retrospect, I feel silly for not recognizing that the phase variance was going to be the foil, because they kept bringing up this mysterious like phase variance. There's a phase variance. What's this phase variance? Phase variance.
Problem
was
I remembered this. I like even before, like when we selected this episode, when the algorithm selected this episode, I remembered that was the gimmick of this episode. The gag at the end was that it was like big, huge time.
It's just they laid out the breadcrumbs for you on that one. There's just like, here is where we're going. This phase variance is going to be the problem because we don't explain what it is.
I think that's part of the thing that makes it a little aggravating in this episode, is that the concept is really kind of interesting. You get
concept.
It's a wormhole. It's a wormhole so that you can communicate with an enemy. Oh no, it's an enemy. It's like a that's a problem.
It's a narrow.
That's a barrier to overcome.
A narrow Hank Hill.
And then there's the extra sci-fi barrier of like time travel. That's a clever idea. I enjoyed this episode. I liked it, but yes, it's also very boring. Yeah. Okay. Where the hell have I heard that before? Let's do that.
Chief O'Brien.
At long last.
Let's do that, and then we'll have any concluding comments about this episode. Mm-hmm. So
I did have Overeager Janeway that I could zip through.
Yes, we definitely want to do the Overeager Janeway. I don't want to miss out on that. Where the hell have I heard that before? That is our weekly game where we play a sound clip.
Priority.
Yes, we play a sound clip from somewhere in the Star Trek universe, and you, the audience, get to write in and guess what you think the sound clip is from, which character says it, which show or movie, what have you.
Let's assume he's going to be successful.
So I will play the clip from last week, and then we'll go through the guesses. Here's the clip.
But I mean, were any Orions even doing science stuff back then?
They weren't all pirates, Somebody had to make the starships.
All right.
Doing?
I
see.
This is top priority.
So, Dan, Jesse.
Maybe it will work itself loose.
I know sometimes you end up looking this up, cheating.
Oh yeah, I did that once.
Do either of you have thoughts on where this sound clip is from?
I make no promises.
It's Boimler and Tendi.
Definitely Boimler and Tendi.
It's lower decks.
It's I mean I don't remember
I don't remember the exact episode.
I never remember episode names is the problem, but I know it's like about
Is that when they do some Orion stuff? And
yeah, I mean it is about Orion.
She goes
stuff.
back to she visits her relatives or whatever.
I just can't remember which Orion episode it is.
Because there's a few of them.
I won't leave you on tenterhooks because you both You both have fallen for my trap.
It seemed we were so close.
My wicked trap, because yes.
Wicked game.
Yes, there are a few occasions in Lower Decks where they deal with Tendi's heritage, particularly prejudice.
Those are bad odds.
Prejudice against Orions, assuming they're all pirates when in fact there are all sorts of Orions.
Their pheromones. Moans.
So let's go.
It seemed we were so close.
Let's go through some of the guesses. First, we have a guess that was sent to us on Mastodon. A guess from Jonah H, who simply wrote SNW! Exclamation point.
Chief O'Brien?
SNW, yes.
All right. Is it SNW? Is it not Lower Decks?
SNW.
So you've been playing a lot of tricks lately.
I've been playing tricks.
Right. Okay. Well,
I'm
maybe it's that tricky one.
Midsummer Night's Dream, I'm Puck.
Sabotage.
I'm a Puck
Sabotage.
character. So thank you.
It's just a crazy idea.
Thank you, Jonah H.
You're a greedy son of a bitch.
A person of very few words, indeed very few letters, just SNW, exclamation point. We got a Blue Sky direct message from Kara, and Kara says, WTHHIHTB this week is Boimler and Tendi in SNW.
Very impressive.
Which is short for Strange New Worlds. The episode, Those Old Scientists, crossover episode. One of the best feel-good episodes to watch if you want to watch one where nobody dies. Yes.
Not bad.
That's correct, Kara. And we did, of course, have a few other correct guesses.
Right on.
Amy, again, a stalwart of this particular game. Amy says, this week's WHHIHTB is from Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 7, Those Old Scientists. Beginning at 2:54, Boimler and Tendi are talking about the origins of the portal they are about to...
Portal. He says it's all fun.
Investigate.
Not bad.
And Isaac sent us a message and says, hello, Jesse Atrick, Danny Atrick, and Jerry Patrick.
Not bad.
So you're making it work, Dan?
Not too bad, dude.
You're making it work?
Then let's do it.
All right. Thanks for inviting us to write in for the hit game show. What? I've heard that before.
I have no objection.
WHITB. I believe this one is the SNW/LD Lower Decks crossover episode, Those Old Scientists. How awesome is that episode? And then in response to some comments I believe we made last week, Isaac, who is from Tasmania, says, we have wallabies in Tasmania. I said I don't think they have kangaroos. So he said, we have wallabies in Tasmania. Kangaroos tend to be on the big island a bit more. Tassie devils are really scary. Like Dan when you've interrupted him one too many times.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for real.
Love you, Isaac.
He's always loving us.
He does. Well, we love Isaac.
We
as
should
well.
go visit.
I'm quite
That'd be a badass
serious.
trip.
I mean, I know it's fun to joke, but
Damn right.
Tasmania looks like it's a neat place.
I want to go to Hobart. I want to go check out I mean, awesome to check out Australia, of course, too.
Yeah, but like,
you know, Isaac, we're going to show up at your fucking house one of these days. Just FYI, we'll try to.
That's exactly right.
We'll try to contact you ahead of time.
No doubt.
Because we don't know exactly where you live, but I figure Hobart's, it's not too big, right?
Agreed.
Just sort of wander around yelling, Isaac,
it's a town.
Isaac.
I have no objection.
All right. And then the last guess was sent in by Emmanuel. Emmanuel says, ahoy, Stinky, Pinky, and Winky.
And that is correct.
I am enjoying this new organic,
real, dude.
organic game that's
And
emerged
that is
here.
correct.
The answer is the sound comes from some kind of Star Trek episode or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Precisely.
We're all going to die. But more specifically, it's from that episode of Star Trek where the thing happens with the guy in the shirt, you know? Gary, I think either that or Those Old Scientists from SNW, directed by Two Takes Frakes. That's right. Jonathan Frakes directed it. It is a great episode, by the way. Now, so thank you, Emmanuel. That is a correct guess. Now, Emmanuel goes on. I like this. Emmanuel goes on to say, but here for you is a challenge. It's time for Where Have I Heard This Bull Hockey Before? Your opportunity to duties begins here. Where is the sound clip from? Play if you have the cojones. Can you see that I'm serious? I am disrespectful to dirt.
That's from The Simpsons.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's a reference, just to be clear. And now he says, this is your clue to play the sound. So he sent me a sound clip for us.
Putting us on the spot
for
here.
us to identify. So I'll play Amanda's sound clip now.
No, Blanche is talking about...
A Nestle's Crunch?
One over.
Animal bag?
To the right.
Didn't you, Grip?
Condoms, Rose! Condoms!
What?
So now we have to guess.
Well, I mean, that's...
We know where that's from.
It's the Golden
Well, what episode, though?
It's Golden Girls. I'd have to look it up, but I don't
know what
I've seen that episode.
I know I've seen that one, yeah.
It's aged women talking about condoms and penises. And
they're just banging left and right, and it's great.
That could have been a few episodes.
It was my mom always thought it was funny that my very conservative grandmother from Ohio, who was always a very prim and proper, loved fucking Golden Girls. My mom was just like, she just likes to sit down and watch these old ladies just talking about banging old wrinkly dudes.
We're dangerous.
Yes, thank you, Emmanuel. So yes, that's Golden Girls. We'll figure it out, or the audience can write in their guesses if they know this particular episode. But definitely Golden Girls, classic.
Thanks, Agamus.
We love it. I love Golden Girls. I loved Empty Nest. I loved all that business.
Empty Nest.
Emmanuel says, P.S. Amy was right. Spock was totally flirting with Una, referring to last week's sound, which was from the Short Treks Q&A.
That's exactly right.
Spock was totally flirting with Una. Does she like eggplant? Regarding the does she like eggplant? Or maybe Una was flirting with Spock. It's almost 6 a.m. and I'm very tired. Sorry if this electronic letter makes no sense. P.P.S. Amy's favorite character, Shran, could be described as cool but rude.
That's right.
Yeah.
Except I'd say it's more cool but crude.
Yeah, but you'd be wrong.
I think what's happening is people are saying crude, but Patrick is editing it.
I don't think that's true. I think
Patrick's editing it.
I think that's
because everybody knows it's crude.
It's not my style. No, it's cool but rude.
It's cool but crude.
Cool but rude.
Look, I know there's a split in the TMNT verse about whether it's cool but crude or cool but rude.
That is, there ain't no split.
But that split has to do with
it's just
you got to visit an audiologist or something. You got to get his ears checked.
It's just convenient that you're the one checking all these.
Get those ears.
It's just convenient that you're the one checking it.
So,
maybe there's some earwax.
Now, let me play the clip for next week, and where the hell have I heard that before? A clip for next week, and for the first time, I've asked folks. I said, hey, I like picking these things, but if you have a suggestion, please send in your suggestion. Just send in a time code. Give me the details, and it should be not too long a clip, but send in the suggestion. We actually got 2 suggestions this week. We got a suggestion from Kara and a suggestion from Amy.
This is top priority.
Kara's came in a little bit before Amy, so I'll play.
Is it called like Where the Hell Should You Have Heard This?
Yeah, it's whatever it is, it's very similar. So I'm going to play the clip that Kara selected for us this week, and we'll play Amy's next week. But you send in your clips. We definitely would like you to join in the fun.
Send us your clips.
It is fun to pick these things. So here is the clips.
Agreed.
For Where the Hell Have I Heard That Before? Suggested by Kara.
Outside can be challenging.
Dangerous.
She thinks it's a very funny clip. I agree. I will play it one more time, and then you can send in your guesses to feedback@iscotstartrek.com or direct message us on social media. Here's the clip.
Outside can be challenging.
Dangerous.
All right.
I'm on it.
So, back to the very important discussion of this episode. Ooh, Jesse's doing one of his sneezing things. 3 sneezes, 4
Yes, sir.
sneezes. All right. 5
Precisely.
Sneezes, and could be it. All right.
Of course.
Jesse has paused the sneezing for the moment. Okay. So, yes, Eye of the Needle. What else do we have to discuss about this episode?
Overeager Janeway?
Yes, the overeager Janeway business, definitely. We want to look at this list of overeager Janeway.
Okay, so Tuvok says, I fear...
Yeah? Oh. Yeah, okay.
Slow down, Taurus. Tell me what you're talking about.
We're leaving all that in. That's Cinema Verite, podcast Verite. It's springtime here in the Mid-Atlantic in the Washington, D.C. area. The cherry blossoms have bloomed and fallen. Their petals have fallen.
So
Jesse is sneezing up a storm.
Tuvok says...
Dan and I are heavily medicated.
So Harry's all, excited to do the thing at the beginning. And Tuvok says to Janeway, he says, I fear Mr. Kim's exuberance may turn into an equally intense disappointment if his efforts prove in vain. And Janeway
says... What a dickhead.
I know. Janeway says, you may be right, but I'd rather assume that he's going to be successful. That is...
You may be right, but I'd rather assume that he's going to be successful.
I think that's a terrible idea. Look into it for sure, but don't assume success. Why is she assuming success?
Because she's Starfleet.
Can you play the clip again? I just want to clarify something in my head about how she actually structured the sentence.
Okay, well, I'm going to lead up with Tuvok. Okay. I fear Mr. Kim's exuberance may turn into an equally intense disappointment if his efforts prove in vain.
You may be right, but I'd rather assume that he's going to be successful.
I can accept, because I get what you're saying, because she says rather. To me, that's the nuance there is that it's couched. She's saying, like, you're right, but I'd rather think he's going to be successful. So I'm going to kind of bias myself in that way. But she's not saying like, I am going to assume he's going to be. She's saying I'd rather assume.
You never assume anything. Like there's no reason to
assume. She's not saying she's assuming. She's saying she would rather.
That's just another way of saying you're assuming success.
I think maybe you're right in practice, but I think she's doing the right thing in terms of what she's saying.
I think you are being extremely pedantic here.
I think the English language.
Oh, don't pull this shit.
Language in general.
This is how you like throw an argument aside. You say things
I'm
like
not throwing it aside.
The human language is very complicated and they mean many things. And the memory and the human brain remembers what it wants to remember. And maybe you didn't hear my point the way I thought I presented it to you because communication is so strange. It's like just let's analyze what they said. And they fucking said I'd rather assume he's going to be successful. You don't assume shit because you're setting yourself up for disappointment. I'm not saying assume you're going to be wrong. I'm just saying run the tests. Don't assume success. That's $1, not a dish.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. First of all, run the test. What did you say?
Run the test.
Assume success.
Run the test. Don't assume success.
I like this phrase you've just coined there.
Absolutely.
Very impressive.
I also don't necessarily disagree with your argument. I think you have a 100% valid argument. I'm just saying to me, I would give her the benefit of the doubt, and maybe this is my own bias. I give her the benefit of the doubt that she's adding rather. It's a modifier that undercuts it. It's not a certainty. It's a hope. It's a wish.
How can I assure you of my truthfulness?
Okay. All right.
You're obviously lying.
But then I mean, this is further reinforced.
So that was the first one.
That was
first
the first
exuberant Janeway business.
Yes. Now this is further reinforced by the next one, though, when Telek says, he's on the view screen, he says, I will contact you again. The transmission ends. And then Janeway says, Commander, let's assume he's going to be successful. Tell the crew to prepare personal messages and have them ready within the hour. And Chakotay says, with pleasure, Captain. She keeps assuming success. Mm-hmm. And I have a sound clip for that, too. And I played
it's
it
the
actually.
Power of positive thinking.
And I the power of love. So I have both sound clips. I played this earlier.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I played this earlier, but
let's assume he's going to be successful.
And then before she said,
you may be right, but I'd rather assume that he's going to be successful. Let's assume he's going to be successful.
She even said the same goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna hate me, Dan. Again, here, the let's assume is, given the myriad of options we have, let's make we have to do things. Let's do things. This is a normal management thing. We don't know 100% what the deal is. We'll make the decisions based on this particular assumption. It may not be correct, but in this case, she's 100% correct that they should assume it because there's no harm in if it's wrong. If it's wrong, the letters don't get sent. No big deal.
She's straight up saying, let's assume this is going to be right.
Exactly. No, I'm going to argue even more strenuously.
Let's skip and whistle and pretend that everything's going to be wonderful.
Because the context is, what do we do now? And she's saying, let's let everyone have a message. We're going to go ahead and assume that it's going to work. Because if it doesn't work, the messages don't get sent. But if it does work, if they didn't collect the messages wouldn't get sent. So she's right to say they should collect the messages.
She can tell them to make messages to get shit ready, but that doesn't mean she has to say assume success. Just because you're making messages doesn't mean you're assuming success. You're just being prepared. Jesse, you haven't chimed in.
I don't even have it.
Have you been?
Why'd you shoot Marvin in the face?
Have you been listening?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think he honestly doesn't have an opinion. Or he's too scared of
I
either of us.
think he's lying when he says he's been listening. I don't think. Have you not been listening?
He thinks one or both of us will kick the shit out of him at the end of the podcast.
What have we been talking about?
I'm afraid of what you're going to do.
Anyway,
I'm not gonna do anything to you.
We got to finish up. I want to finish up this list.
Do you not know? Do you not know what we're talking about?
He knows what we're talking about, but let's finish your list because we can't.
I don't remember asking you, Patrick.
Yeah, I want to finish this list.
I didn't ask you though.
Yeah, I got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
But you're delaying it by answering for Jesse.
All right, I'll be quiet.
You don't have an opinion?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, number 3. After finding out that the phase amplitude of the visual link with the Romulan ship is within just a few megahertz of meeting transporter protocols, Torres says, I'll need some help. Janeway says, you have my authorization to use any of the ship's personnel you need. This has top priority. And don't worry about secrecy. I doubt you'd be able to keep this quiet for very long. So my first issue there is, so she's not even going to try to keep it secret. She's just assuming that they're not going to be able to keep it secret. That doesn't speak well for Starfleet in general if they can't keep a fucking secret. I understand that this is
because it's all this fucking Maquis, these dirty Maquis people.
I understand. I understand that this is like a close gossipy ship at this
point. There's not that many people.
I think it's Janeway doesn't trust the fucking Maquis. She's like this. It's Torres. She's a Maquis.
I mean,
they're gonna give
is your ship
really?
Is your shit really that fucked up that you can't keep a secret? I mean, I guess you could say, oh well, someone's gonna see you doing like experiments and figure out what you're doing. Just even fucking try. And here's the other kicker. Torres even said at the beginning, she was like, Captain. And she's like, what is it, B'Elanna? Yeah. And she's like, oh, I don't want to tell you here. We got to do this in private. And then Torres says, I think this will work, Captain, but I didn't want to bring it up in front of the other crew. It wouldn't be right to get their hopes up in case it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. See, B'Elanna has the right approach. And Janeway even poo-pooed that. She was like, no, forget it. Just tell everybody. Fuck it. You know, and B'Elanna was even like, we should keep this secret. And Janeway is just, what I'm saying is there's a theme.
She just said, don't worry about keeping it secret. She didn't say tell everybody.
But I mean, well, yeah, I mean, she's kind of did because she says don't worry about secrecy, meaning don't even try. You know.
Yes, she said don't even try. Yes.
Right. She's like don't even bother trying. So I don't know. I just seeing a theme here building up where Janeway is really not putting in any effort to level off people's hopes. Anyway, next one at the end, Telek says, of course, at the proper time, I will transmit them. If you should find a way back within, he's talking about their messages. If you should find a way back within my lifetime, I'd be an old man, but I would be welcome a message from you. I am Telek Remor of the blah, blah, blah Astrophysical Academy. Right. Janeway says, nerd! Janeway says, I promise you'll hear from us because we will get back. She says, we will get back. Now,
get back.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good leadership right there.
I think that's because you don't know that you're going to back. And in fact,
good leadership. You gotta have hope in you. You got to provide hope.
There's a difference between hope and blind faith not blind faith. I don't know. That's not the right term. Hope and just like optimism and just I don't know. What's the word for it? Being stupid. But earlier in the
that might be the phrase.
But check it out. She's even contradicting herself though, because earlier in the episode she says to Telek, she says, Captain, every one of us on this ship has left behind friends, family, loved ones. We may not see them again for years. Maybe never. So we can all understand how lonely you must be. So right there, she's admitting, she's saying we might never see our people again. But now she's saying we will come back. So not only is she being too optimistic, she's conflicting. She's being contradictory to herself. First she says we may never, then she says we will get back. Which is it, Janeway? Finally, Torres says, compensating, transport complete. Captain, he made it. She just transported Telek back. Janeway says, I'll tell the crew. They can have the satisfaction of knowing that their messages have reached their families. Yeah. Wrong again, Janeway.
On this
he
one,
died.
I agree with you. Even before he died, I agree with you here that the Janeway and frankly everyone involved was like too eager to assume that this crazy long-term plan, like of course he could have died, or he could have forgotten, or the Romulans could have said no, you're not allowed to send it, or he could have sent it and they could not have believed it, or so. You know, the point is that I all the other Janeway bits is like not a big deal to me, but this one I was like, you got to couch this in a little bit more doubt. Be like, hopefully there's a good chance that this may have worked, but it is also kind of crazy to think that like 20 years later somebody will be around and actually be able to accomplish this.
I think for me, if it was one isolated incident, I wouldn't have paid no mind. But because it kept happening, it just sort of gave off a sort of general philosophy of just like unrealistic positivity or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just my way I see it.
Yeah, but she does have nice pajamas.
She does have nice pajamas.
Silky
Yeah,
pajamas.
glamour
She's all
hair.
like, and she's all like in the moonlight, which is weird because they're in space. And then she's like,
so glamorous.
she's like touching her chest a little bit, just being like,
yeah, her hair is perfectly
Mr.
brushed,
Romulan man.
very silky smooth,
Yeah.
and great. But also, we never heard anything about this Telex situation later on. Like we never found out if the message made it.
I don't believe there's any follow up. I wouldn't be surprised if there's probably some novels where there's some sort of follow up or something. Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts about this episode? A weird one because it is boring. It is generic. It is sort of tame. On the other hand, I kind of enjoyed sitting there watching it. Maybe because it was boring and relaxing.
I didn't unenjoy it.
Yeah,
It was certainly thought provoking.
Yeah, all right.
We have proved, and we made a lively.
The Doctor stuff was good.
We made a lively podcast about it.
All right. So next week
This guy over here is full of hell.
Yeah, we're gonna keep on the old checking out some first season episodes.
Jesse, you are my rock.
It's gonna be Enterprise this week or next week I should say, and we're gonna discuss the season 1 episode 22 Vox Sola, aka the Cum episode. If you don't know what that means, you will when you watch it. So go watch that episode on your streaming platform of choice or access or whatever we're allowed to do in this modern age that we live in. Watch the episode and we will discuss it next week. In the meantime, you can find us on social media at It's Got Star Trek. We got a website, itsgotstartrek.com. It's fucking easy, right?
Yeah.
You can go to YouTube, Facebook, all that shit.
Wormholes, can they be randomly anywhere? Because they were saying there was a 25% chance that they would find the Alpha Quadrant and a 75% chance they wouldn't. So that implies that a wormhole can be literally anywhere.
I disagreed with their statistical. I think that was a simplified statistical analysis. But
it could have just been one of the other.
Our understanding of wormholes was always like normally wormholes are like short-lived and weird and random. The DS9 wormhole to the Gamma Quadrant being a stable wormhole is an aberration. Every now and then they find a stable wormhole, and that can be super cool or involve gods and shit. So
I love that. Love that.
All right. So tune in next week. We're gonna have all sorts of fun. Send in your where the hell have I heard that before guesses, and with that we'll say goodbye.
Later.
Good night.
Good night. I will contact you again.
To what end? Verteron emanations. Tunneling secondary particles.
That's sexy.
We'll be in touch.
That's fucking
No.
sexy. The tunneling part is what's sexy.
Tunneling.
Computer, initiate emergency medical holographic program.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
There is no emergency, Doctor.
Well, that's good.